Oh, my pleasure. I'll talk to you soon. Hello. I think we're connected. Hello.
There you go.
Hey, new machine.
Now I put it back in there, but I was fighting with the Wi-Fi back up in this one.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Okay, so I'm gonna put you on mute and make it fast, okay?
That's fine, not a problem.
I'm going to put my skates on. I'm on the way.
Okay. Well, you may as well let me see the rest of the board.
What'd you say, Mr. James?
You may as well let me look around. I can see what's going on in the hallways and stuff.
Not right now, thank goodness.
Oh, okay.
So she was all excited. I told her, I said, we're going to talk to Jimmy. She was smiling, and then I couldn't even get it.
Oh, well. Did Sharon talk yesterday?
Yes, I called her about 3 times.
Good. Well,
I called her that morning to make sure that she had the right ID number.
Uh-huh.
So I just put her in the wrong tag.
Uh-huh.
Then I had to call her back twice, like, so are you going to come in? Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, they said she got it. My mother had some company yesterday then, a little bit.
Did you send your email out?
Yes, I did.
I heard them sign up.
Well, I'll be signing up today to try to get in early next week.
You should.
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm not gonna put it off.
Mama, you went to sleep on me since I've been gone? Mamma mia. Mama. Hi. Look who I got. I got Jimmy.
Hey, mommy. Hey. How you doing, Mom? You got your baby with you today. And you're looking cute. Super sweet.
See Jimmy? Look at Jimmy. Look. You were wide awake when I left him around here.
Well, she'll wake back up. Or if not, I'll just sit quietly with her for a few minutes.
See that?
Yep, I see. Hey, sweetie pie. Hello, mommy.
I'll be back, baby.
All right, thank you. Hey, Mom. Happy Friday. How you doing, Miss Lyla? How you doing? You looking cute today. Got your baby with you. Yeah. It's a beautiful day, and it's finally Friday. And I'm coming to see you next week. So that we can call there and make appointments and come up anytime we want, as long as you got a slot. So you don't have to wait. And soon we won't have to talk on these computers anymore. Soon I'll be able to come and see you and talk to you in person all the time. And right now they're going to have you come outside, but soon we'll be able to come back in the room. That'll be good. So you're looking well today. You look pretty. I like that top. Yeah. I like that top. How's the baby doing? The baby been good? I'm right here. I'm looking right at you. Did you see me okay, Mom? Miss Lyla. There you go. I see you. The last time I saw you, y'all had a big lunch. So I hope they have some good food for you today. That's Miss Carter. How's Miss Carter doing? Your roommate. She's doing pretty good. You see me. It's a nice smile in your eyes. Always it makes me happy when I see you smile a little bit. Yeah. That looks like somebody might have just walked in. Or you're watching TV. that The Price is Right?
Yeah.
That's just what it sounds like. The Price is Right. So we're on a big trip. Get on it. That's right. You didn't want to get on the ship. You didn't like ships. You couldn't get you on the airplane. You didn't want to get on the airplane. But you look cute today. A beautiful smile. Wow. Yeah. So I'm not doing nothing this Friday. It's a quiet day. Miss Dee Dee was here yesterday. That's my granddaughter, your great granddaughter, one of your many great grandchildren. And she was switching around like she owns the house, telling me and Niecy what to do. That's how she is. She's the boss. Denise is in another room watching the tennis match. She likes Serena Williams, so I think Serena Williams has a match today. So she might not be in here because she don't leave the TV when the tennis match is on. She loves Venus and she loves Serena. So she's probably watching the tennis match. You been up for a while today? And you look good. And the baby's been good. The baby's not acting up. Yeah. And you saw Diane and Tootie this week. And I don't know if you saw Rachel, or if you saw Marshall, or if you saw Neil or Jason. And you saw Sharon yesterday. You see me today. And I'm going to try to come up early next week to see you. So you don't have to wait till Friday. I'll be able to see you early in the week. As soon as after we get done visiting, I can call and schedule some time to come up. And I can't wait to come up and just sit outside in the sun in the courtyard, which is pretty, and have a nice little visit. And because now it's getting warm outside, so no more cold weather. And we don't have to wear any masks. That's going to be good. I mean, they've done a really good job. FutureCare did a really good job of making sure you all were safe. But that virus was a real bad thing. And it made a lot of people got sick, and a lot of people it killed them. So they did a good job to make sure you all were safe and nobody get the germs in the way you were. So that's a good thing. I'm glad to hear it. Glad to see you smiling. And your eyes are always so bright and clear. Wow. Yep. You have a pretty beautiful smile. Yeah. And there you look like my mommy. Yeah. So I guess sometimes I run my mouth and I've learned that it's just easier to just be quiet. Sometimes I just pray to see you. And that's the best part. It's a good day. It's Friday. And we just take it easy and take it one day at a time. Denise had a hip replacement. Sometimes she's still having a hard time at night, which makes me stay up late. So I'm always yawning and tired. But she's getting better. And once she gets better, I'll be better too. So I don't have any no new news. But no news is good news. So as far as I know, everybody's doing good. Everybody's been safe. And everybody's doing well. So I know Jason had a new baby, but it's not new now. I don't think anybody else has had any children that I know of. There's a lot of children popping up. There's a lot of kids popping up. So I'm thinking real soon, Cameron, Sean's son, I'm surprised he doesn't have any children that he's talking about. I don't know. Because I might already be somebody's great grandfather. You are a great grandmother. But you're a great grandmother anyway. So, all these children. I talked to Wanda this week, Wanda Lee. But she's doing pretty good. And she said Joanne was doing good. And she talked to Donnie and Doogie. But she said she really talked to Joanne. So Joanne, always threatening to come to Baltimore, but she hasn't come yet. So it'd be good if she does. She hasn't. Nobody's seen her up here in years. You know, they see her on a computer sometimes, but she stays where she is most of the time. But Wanda was doing pretty good, and her kids and grandchildren, they're all doing good too. Yeah, we're just taking it easy, trying to get through it. If anything else happened in the neighborhood, I can't think of anything that, no, nothing. It's been real quiet, and it's always quiet right here. Then we got those cicadas, those bugs that come out every 17 years. Those bugs are out in some neighborhoods, but we don't have many of them. And where Patrice and Diane live, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. They're all over the cars, all over the sidewalks. As soon as you open the door, they're all out on the front of the screens, all on the windows, all in porches. Where I'm at, I've seen about 3 of them. But I hear them. They make a lot of noise. So here is that they're orange and black. I don't know why. Everything in Baltimore is always orange and black or purple. So they're orange and black like the Orioles, birds, like City College High School. My high school had orange. That was my school color, orange and black. And here these orange and black bugs got great big orange eyes, but they're black and orange legs. So I'm sure you remember them. They were everywhere. They were everywhere. I think the first time I saw them was when I was graduating from the city, 1972. So that probably meant that they came out the year I was born. They came out in '72, and they're back out again now. I don't know how it worked out, but it's every 17 years. So it would make sense. They would come around, and here they are. They got these crazy people on TV eating them. They say they taste like shrimp. As much as I like shrimp, I don't think I want to eat no dirty bugs. I mean, shrimp's kind of a dirty bug. You know? So I don't want to eat. And they're so little, you have to eat 100 of them before they even probably even taste them. They probably don't taste like nothing. It's like eating a hard shell. So whose TV you watching? Miss Carter's TV? Rocking a little baby. The baby's been good. I see you. You always look so pretty. I have been blessed to have you for a mother. I just think about your sweet potato pies. Boy. And your rice pudding. Those are my 2 favorites. Sweet potato pies and rice pudding. Miss Carter think I'm talking to her. No, I'm not talking to Miss Carter. She keeps you laughing, doesn't she? Yeah, she's laughing all the time. And she's a good roommate. And she's got a real generous family. They always send me some sweets. So they're nice people. And they always make sure to give Miss Dupree something. So that's your buddy. I'm thinking about your friend Eunice, and you had another friend Hazel. He had another friend whose daughter lived on Chapel Street, and she had tuberculosis. But I'm trying to think. I can't think of her name right now. I want to say Ethel, but it wasn't Ethel. But she was like all around. She was always around the house. Always around the house. Well, I didn't mean Miss Eunice. Miss Thelma Eunice was Thelma's daughter, and Hazel was the light-skinned woman. Used to come and bring me cheesecake. She always bought cheesecake. I think which was nice. She always bought something for you to eat. So she was a real nice lady. Another thing, there was a guy named Fat Dave who used to come by. Remember Fat Dave? Worked at the lunch wagon for a little while. Was dead. But I don't know where he worked after that. There's so many people who Sherry, Aunt Pearl, you know. And she was, when I think about it, I remember when she got a typewriter when she graduated from school. That was a big typewriter. That was a big deal. And now people have computers, so they're carrying around whole computers now. So all that's a typewriter. They still make them, I guess, but I don't know why they would. Because everything now, they can do it on a computer, type it up on a computer. Remember in the old days, you had to have, they didn't even have whiteout. You had to take an eraser and try to, if you made a mistake, you had to try to erase it. It was really pretty hard. And if you had something, you had to make a copy of something, use carbon paper. If you made a mistake, you were just in trouble. You had to be a perfect typist. Because you really couldn't afford to make any mistake. You had, there you go. Thanks, Mommy. You had to be a good typist back in those days. And every school taught typing. Well, not every school, but good schools. Yeah. So I had a Miss Moore was my typing teacher at Clifton. But that's the school Uncle Braxton went to. He went to Clifton Park. Clifton Park Junior High School. He had me scared to death, think I was going to be a bear. He was telling me how to put a razor blade in a matchbook, so in case you had to fight somebody, you have a razor blade. But that school was never bad like that. It was never nothing like that. Yeah. It might, you know, but then he went to City, and I went to City, and Neil went to City, and Rachel went to City. So three of us went to the same high school. I think three of us went to Clifton Park. I think Sharon and Diane went. I know Sharon went to Clifton Park. I think Diane went to Clifton too. David and Marshall went down to Lombard. But all of us went to 101. You had nine children. Nope. 8 of us went to 101. Jason went to Hartford Heights. 8 of your 9 children went to 101 right down the street. I remember that school was such a big school. It was a new school back to me then. So all the other school buildings were old. We had this great big modern building on Washington Street with a giant playground. And it seemed like 100 children were at that playground in the morning. And I can remember all of my teachers, come to think of it by name. My first kindergarten teacher's name was Miss Council. And I was in Miss Council's class for the first half of the year. And then some of us moved over to the next room to Miss Purcell's class. And Miss Council still had a class, but she had a class and she shared it with Miss Johnson. And then Miss Purcell had a class by herself. So I was in Miss Purcell's class. Remember, we built this big rabbit hutch. It was like inside the class, and we had ducks, and we had rabbits, and we had chickens. We had all these animals in the classroom. So they started letting me bring in something. You know, the kids could bring them home. So I brought home a turtle, a big box turtle one time. Then I brought home ducks. Remember, I brought 2 ducks home, and we put them in the bathtub for a minute. And then I had to take them back to school. They would let me borrow them. Then I brought home the rabbit, a white rabbit. And that rabbit got loose in the house, and he would chew up the telephone lines and extension cords, anything that was plugged in. And he pooped them little teeny pellets everywhere. So that rabbit pooped all in the house, and this rabbit was running around the house. Then at the end of the school year, they gave away the pets. And I was supposed to get the rabbit. But the woman who was a crossing guard and lived on Wolf Street, she ended up, because she was down there, they gave the rabbit to her. And I hated them for a long time. But I saw her a couple of years ago. She was still living, and she would go to the church on Washington and State Street, and I ended up doing some playing some music for them. They had a fashion show, and they hired me to play the music. And her daughter was the MC at the fashion show, and she turned out to be a really nice lady. And she's claiming she remembered our family. When I mentioned you by name, Dad, she said she remembered y'all. So it was pretty good. But I was mad because I wanted that rabbit. The truth is, you know, I was just that rabbit was just tearing the house up. Then I brought home. We went to Mondawmin when Mondawmin first turned into a mall. Because Mondawmin was a shopping center. Then they covered it all up and made a mall out of it. And it was a place called Rogers Pet Store. And I don't know how I had the money, but some kind of way I bought a lizard. So I came home with this little lizard in the box. And then as soon as I got in the house, I opened the box, it jumped out and disappeared in the house. So I don't know how I got another one, but I think I went up Minor Street and got another one. This time I got it in the house, but I took it outside to open it up, the box. And when I opened up the box, it escaped into the neighborhood. But they were those little teeny coyotes. It was only about 3 inches long. And that one that disappeared in the house, it was just disappeared. It was so small, nobody ever found it, I guess. But I had a turtle that got loose in the basement that might still be in that basement because they live a long time. It was a big box turtle, and I don't know where I got it from. Them days you could find stuff. You know, you could be walking some patch of grass and it might be some kind of animal in that grass. But I brought it home. I was always dragging something in the house. One time I brought a full size adult German Shepherd home that I claimed that I found, but I kind of found it in somebody's, in the Jimmy's bar, the backyard to the bar. Somebody had left it in that, and I went and got it and brought it home. And I think Dad liked it at first because it was real big. But when he tried to come in the yard, that dog didn't like him. He told me, you got to take that dog back. So I had to take the dog back. I wanted it. And I had to go in the yard to get it. And when I think about how stupid I was, that was pretty stupid. I went and got it. And I dragged it home and told y'all, look what I found. I was talking to somebody the other day about the little Italian restaurant that used to be on Madison Street, where Jimmy's Bar. I was just talking about Jimmy's Bar. It was on Madison and Castle Street. It was called Testani. And then they moved one block up to Castle and Lyman Street, and they were there for years. And I knew Mr. Frank by name, so I was going there every couple of days and begging for a job. Mr. Frank, please. Can I sweep up? Can I take the trash out? Can I do something? I need a job. I was about 11 years old. And finally he said, if your parents will give me permission and they talk to me, I'll give you a job. So y'all let me come up there a couple of days a week after school and wash dishes. So my first job that I got on my own, I was 11 years old and I was washing dishes. And I had to wash the dishes. They didn't make it easy on me. There were lots and lots of dishes and pots and pans, and they showed me how they wanted it done. And I had to do it. And I did that, and then I would have to take the trash out, and I had to sweep up. I had to mop anything, but I had a lot of work to do. And it was only me, and they had a cook. The cook's name was Lee. And that's back when Italians were real dark people. Lee was about as dark as I am. And his hair was kind of nappy, but he was Italian. But that's when a lot of Italians were really. You could see a lot of dark skinned Italians. Most of them were real light now, but they were. If you remember when we were coming up, Italians were dark people. Yeah. Just like Hispanics, they were just as dark as Hispanic people were. But they had good food, so sometimes I get something to eat. They give me something, let me eat something. Um, wasn't like lunch wagon where I could eat all I wanted, but it was something. And that was kind of nice. They had a little restaurant. It was open for a long time. I used to still go in there when I was working at the Coast Guard yard after I had gotten out of the service. Mr. Frank was still living back then, and every now and then I'd be up on Wyman Street or something. I'd stick my head in the door and talk to him a little bit. And he remembered me, but I mean, by then I was in my 20s. So I kind of kept in touch with Mr. Frank Testani. He had a daughter named, he had a wife named Miss Ann. I can't remember what his daughter's name was. The cook's name was Leah, remember Leah. Because he just worked all day long. He worked from the time they opened to the time they closed him. He was always just about in front of the stove the whole day, just cooking. And they had eat-in food, but you could go to the back door and order takeout food, so he had to take orders and fix the food and take the money and all that stuff. He had a lot of work. He was probably the hardest working person. Mr. Frank would be in there running his mouth. But it was a nice little job. I can still remember how it smelled. You had all that produce and all that tomato sauce. Just the smell of tomato sauce. It smelled like a pizza shop. But they didn't serve pizza back then. They did spaghettis and other things. They didn't even have, I don't even recall them having an oven big enough. The fixing didn't size meatloaf. I remember Miss Ann, that was her specialty. She made meatloaf all the time. That was a nice little job. And I had the little money I would make. I'd go down to 5 and 10 and buy something, buy a toy or something. They give you all a little bit of money. And that was it. So I did that. I know I did it probably about 5 or 6 months. I did it. It was a nice little run. I think when it got real cold, I might have stopped doing it. But it was a good way to make a little bit of money and learn some responsibility and realize that I didn't want to do that my whole life. So I learned very early that's not the job you want. And then I ran errands for everybody and fixed stuff around the neighborhood. Then when I was 14, I went to work down at the lunch wagon with everybody that's worked down there. You look back, it's the whole family, Racine and Marie and Eloise, I think Aunt William, Dad, Uncle Braxton worked there because I worked in the truck with Uncle Braxton and Dad. Uncle Braxton was Dad's helper, but sometimes they would let me go with them. But I worked with everybody, but I definitely worked with Dad and Uncle Braxton. Them two, all they did was laugh and joke all day long. I take back about it. All day long, that's all I did was talk trash and joke. And Uncle Braxton was funny. He had a good sense of humor. So Dad was funny, but so was Uncle Braxton. So between the two of them, I would just be laughing. That's all day long, just laughing. And that was pretty good because I learned a whole lot from them. Learned a whole lot. So I'm gonna let you sleep. I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna sit quietly for a minute, and I'll wait for Miss Desi to come back. And when she comes back, that'll be the end of it. But for the time being, we can sit and just be comfortable. I'm just glad that you could take a little nap. I got a couple of errands I'm gonna run later on, but I'm not making a whole lot of noise. I'm trying to. We got a project I'm working on, so I got to work on that this weekend. I'm making a video for somebody in our family. I don't want to say who it's for because they might be watching. They may watch this later on today, and I don't want to ruin it for them. So some little video. I had 150 pictures I scanned. And so one day I think I'm gonna put a bunch of them on my iPad and bring them with me and let you share because it's a lot of pictures and every one of the ones I do for family, it's always pictures of you in there. So I'll make sure you get a chance to see it. I didn't think about that, but you're in the one I'm working on. And actually there's one with almost the whole family. It was for your birthday when we gave you a birthday party, the last time we gave you a party. Maybe we'll be able to have a party this year. That'll be a good thing. I have to talk to everybody and see if we can make that happen. We did pretty good the last time, so we'll be able to do even better this time. And if we can have it upstairs in the multi-purpose, the big room, that would be even better. I mean, we can bring enough stuff. I don't have a problem bringing extra food. They can get some of the cake and stuff to the residents. It would be fine by me to buy extra cake or extra 2 cakes. So everybody get a slice of birthday cake. And they could let some of the residents in, as far as I'm concerned. The ones who want to sing happy birthday, that can still sing, they can sing. That would be a good thing. Oh, guess what?
She's asleep.
She just took a nap.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Mom, it's Niecy.
Miss Lyla. I just ramble on. Miss Desiree coming back in a minute anyway.
I'm watching that.
I told you you were watching Cincinnati. So, yeah.
She wanted the first snack.
Mine waking up? You waking up? Nope. Still asleep. Nope. I was thinking about that time Mr. Harry sent some clothes home. Thought he was doing Dad a big favor by giving us some of his children's old clothes. And mixed in the clothes was the children's dirty underwear. I've never seen you that mad before. But yeah, that was. I don't know if he knew that the stuff was in there, but you found it and you were really angry about that. Come to think of it, I don't think we took anything out from them. And he had mostly girls. So he had the one son, Jimmy. Jimmy and Sharon were real close. But see, they could group off. Because Jimmy was the boss's son. And because I had been there for a couple of years before Sharon started working there, I had too much work to do. They had stuff for me to do. I very rarely had a chance to goof off. I had on the trucks, we could goof off a little bit if it wasn't busy. But most of those trucks, when we would go to a place like Western Electric or General Motors, those people came out, they all took their lunch break at the same time. So it might be like at Fisher Body Chevrolet plant. Some days you have 2 trucks there, and it would be 200 people outside waiting for sandwiches and coffee and sodas. And that meant for an hour, you had to really, really, really work really hard and really fast. And they would be making sandwiches, and I'd be putting sodas in the bag and putting a slice of pie in the bag and bringing up the money box because I'd have to bring the money up at the same time and give the people cigarettes. There's so much going on with those folks. Taught me how to count real well. Didn't have any computers. The cash registers did not add up for you. You had to add up in your head and do the totals. So they had 2 hot dogs, 2 sodas, a donut, and a pack of cigarettes. You had to add that up real quick, and then you pushed it in on the cash register, and you took the money and then counted the change back for them. And at the end of the day, they checked the registers to make sure all the money was there. So nobody, you couldn't come back in there short or over or anything. The money had to be right. And so I could count. So it was never a problem for me. But it was I wouldn't say it was a high pressure because in the end, the only thing that was really motivating me was the food. So when things were finally settling down, then I don't care what had been going on. Now I'm grabbing a hamburger roll and I'm making a cheeseburger or making a hot dog with chili, and then I'm eating some donuts. Because it was, and I remember Mr. Harry saying one day, we was at the Chevrolet plant, and I didn't have any shame. I mean, they said to me, what you want, so I did. He said, Jim, you're eating up all my profits. You're eating up everything that ain't tied down. He was probably right, but you know, he and I had a really good talk after I grew up. After I went in the service, I came home and I stopped down to see him a couple of times. I just stopped in there, and he and I think he was really surprised that A, I went in the service, but B, he was probably surprised I'd come back and see him. And we come back and we had really good talks. He was always happy to see me. He was a nice guy. So he yelled and screamed, and he used to yell at me because I would do stuff, you know, just didn't know no better. You know, we emptied out. We used to keep grease from the deep fries in these 55-gallon drums or something. In some kind of way, in my dumb mind, I took one of those drums and emptied it in the sewage line. And he had to get in there with his bare hand. That was a payback, though, on the way. And scoop all that grease, because it was just nothing but grease. Just dipping it out by his hands so it wouldn't clog up the sewage line, because that would have been a real problem. And it might have been, I can't remember why I did it. But I wasn't the only one. I was with somebody at the time. I think they convinced me that maybe it was a shortcut to doing something. But I worked my way, and I think, to becoming one of his best helpers. And if I had wanted to, I could have probably ended up with my own truck or something. But that's not what I wanted to do for a living at all. But I got to when I could fix every sandwich. I could work inside when we had the restaurant, I could work inside the restaurant. I could set a truck up so fast that I had enough time to set somebody else's truck up. So some days I set 2 or 3 trucks up, or break 2 or 3 trucks down at the end of the day as fast as the helper head could break down, or set up one. I could do 2 or 3. I didn't mind doing it. It was fun. Plus, again, I was motivated by food. So while I'm setting up the truck, I'm eating a donut. Or I could drink a pint of chocolate milk and eat 2 donuts in seconds. Just like a bottomless pit, and I was always hungry. So I set the truck up in the morning, and while I'm there, look over the tray of donuts, grab mine, open up the freezer, grab a pint of chocolate milk, and they had the whole chocolate milk, wasn't that 2% chocolate milk, it was the real stuff. Kill a pint of that, eat a donut or 2, hop on somebody else's truck. We'd be pulling out in the morning to be riding down O'Donnell Street, heading towards the waterfront. And while the truck is dark outside, I'm in the back bouncing around. Didn't have no seats for the helper. I just sat on the ice chest, and the donut tray would be right there in front of me. So while I'm sitting there, I'm eating a donut. Then I open the top of the ice chest up and reach in there, and it's full of ice and cold sodas and milk. Dig around. Sometimes I'll leave a chocolate milk up near the top. Grab that. By the time we get to the stop, I need 2 or 3 donuts. I need to drink 1 or 2 pints of chocolate milk. That was just to start my day out. Then the morning for breakfast would be busy because a lot of people drink coffee. So I'd be making coffee all morning. So there really wasn't enough time to sneak and eat anything until after the coffee, the morning rush. But the whoever I was working with, the cooks, who would be making sandwiches, so they got those bacon, egg, and cheese, sausage, egg, and cheese. You know, um, fried eggs, just a lot of fast sandwiches like that. Then donuts or pastry and coffee and milk, but very few sodas, mostly coffee. And sometimes, it depends on where I would be. These guys will come out to some of those places, and they send one person, and he want 50 cups of coffee. So I want 10 with, 15 with cream and sugar, 10 black ones, 10 black with sugar, and I have to mark each cup. And they only got so much time for breakfast or whatever it was they were doing, so we would have to work fast. It was a hard job, but in a way it was a very smart job. And if the industry ever came back, that business died because the industry died. But if the industry ever comes back, that might be a business to review to try to think about doing it again. But the smart thing, you don't just go sit on some corner. You make a deal with the company. So we had a deal with Western Electric. We had a deal with Fisher by Chevrolet plant. We had a deal with Lyla Brothers, the people that make soap and Colgate. We had a deal with the Dundalk Marine Terminal. So we pull up the Western Electric where the niece's father worked. When we get there, 10 minutes after we get there, it'd be 50 people outside come to get their morning coffee. And then we'd be back again 11 o'clock, 11:30, there might be 100, 150 people outside lined up waiting to get their food. So we have to work real fast. By then we had, a lot of times while things were quiet, we'd make up I would fry 20 hamburger patties and put them in a tray with a sauce with onions. So if somebody want a hamburger, you just spread the hamburgers already cooked, put it on the hamburger roll, put mustard, onions, and chili on it, wrap it up. So I learned how to do I learned a whole lot from that place. I learned a whole lot. But I wouldn't want to do it now. And plus, I got too tall. By the time I came back my second summer, I had grown about 3 inches, and I couldn't stand up straight in the front of me. I had to stand with my head bent all the time. So that was, if I hadn't do that another year, I'd have ended up in a hospital or something. So, plus, I got a real bad bladder infection, and then work on because the waterfront was dirty, and it was always stuff in the air. I don't know, back in those days, water in the waterfront was like pea soup. Remember how bad it used to stink when you went down by the water? Everywhere you went, the water stank. They just polluted it. There was nobody to stop it. So I don't know if something got in the air, something got on the food. It might have been the water that we were using to cook the food. But I got a real bad bladder infection while I was in high school and while I was working on that lunch lane. I think about how we used to, that smell would be in your clothes. You could work around food. I guess it depends on where you work. It used to stink to me. The dad used to smell like it all the time. A long time. That's the niece in the background. She's watching that tennis match. She's all worked up. But Serena, somebody, I keep seeing shadows moving around, which would make me think somebody's in the room with me. But anyway, it's always, I just ramble on, running my mouth. So I was thinking about my days at 101. Mrs. Mabel Harris was my 6th grade teacher. And she would let me run errands for her on Minor Street because I lived the closest to Minor Street in the whole place. So she taught me how to pay the bills. She had an account with a Provident Bank. And back in those days, could pay your gas and electric bill and your phone bill at the bank. And so I would she would give me the money and be in an envelope and little punch cards, you had to give them back in those days. And I would pay those bills, and then she would tell me if I needed to, the way it worked out is that we had to go home for lunch every day. But if I had to run an errand for her, I didn't have to come. I think we had to be back by 1 o'clock or something like that. Maybe you had to be back before then. It might have been 12:30. But either way, if I had to run an errand for her, I had more time. So that meant I could go on down the street and look in the sporting goods windows, or go in the Five and Dime and go to the pet department and watch the fish. So I could come back at 1 o'clock and nobody would ask me. I didn't have to answer to anybody. But she knew I had been in the bank, and I could just say, well, the bank was private. So she never even answered. But I think back about that, that was kind of setting the stage for me, because I learned how to do a lot of stuff really early. I knew sometimes with bank transactions, there were other bills that we paid. Sometimes she wanted money to change back a certain kind of way, or she wanted to break certain bills. And that was trusting me with her money. And she lived right down the street from the school. I want to say Chapel Street, but it wasn't. It was a little alley street behind Chapel, in between Chapel and Wolf Street. And the 1000 block was another street. And she lived, and you had to get to it, you had to walk through an alley. Because she lived right at the corner house. And, she lived there her whole life, and nobody ever involved her. Mabel Harris was her name. And she was a dedicated school teacher. Back in the day when a lot of school teachers didn't get married, they stayed with the kids. And people thought she was mean, but she was a nice lady. She was always nice to me. And I think I got to see her once or twice. Yeah, Mabel Harris. But it was somebody I knew lived in that area, and they said she lived a good long time. She made out pretty good. Somebody coming. Somebody outside anyway. Mom, Miss Lyla. Hey, Mom. Sometimes dreams can be something else. I was dreaming last night that I was on the front, and there's a bush in front of one of my windows, and there was a snake in that bush. I kicked that snake as hard as I could, and guess what I did? I was kicking Denise for real. She woke me up after I kicked her real hard too. So I actually kind of hurt her a little bit. That's the first time that's ever happened. But I was dreaming and I measured my kick. It was like I gotta kick it hard.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hey, how you doing? Pretty good
It's
yourself?
nice to see you.
It's good to see you as well. How you been?
I'm fine. How about you?
Pretty good, thank you.
Good.
I sometimes when my mother sleep like this, I just ramble on, so don't mind me.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
So no, we had a good visit. She was awake most of the time.
Right. Well, it's time for when they sit along. Say hi to Jimmy. I think she's sleeping, Jimmy.
No, she's wide awake now. She just looked up and saw you.
Hey, look at that. Look at that beautiful smile.
That's something. Yeah.
I see you have a little baby.
So you may tell me how you come in and read to her sometimes. Thank you very much. I'm just saying thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, we will do that. We'll do that. We'll bring a nice story to you. How does that sound? Okay? Okay. All right,
Anyway, so
Jimmy.
you take care of yourself. Be safe.
All right. Turn your phone off, okay?
Okay, take care.
All right, Jimmy.
All right.
Nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you too. All right, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. All right, this brings almost lunchtime.